decided to go into motion design because I love music, I love photography, I love music videos, I love designing, and it basically covers everything. It's so broad, and I know that when I graduate, I'll be able to become maybe a graphic designer, or I could be a motion graphics artist, or I could even do something in the film industry. And that kind of really sparks my interest. Like, everything in one is just awesome. My first year in animation techniques, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I had many sleepless nights because of all the massive amount of work we had, and it actually was really overwhelming, and it made me change my major to photography. However, at the end of the semester, it was probably the last day, I decided to switch back to motion design. I decided to do that because I didn't want to be so narrowed down to just doing one thing, and I kind of wanted to make everything broad, incorporating video, graphic design, my love for music, and also photography in it. So let's see what it's like for a freshman this year. So what exactly are you guys learning this year in animation techniques?
Right now, we just finished up our phenakistoscopes and our proxinoscopes, so we got to learn how to do hand-drawn animation and as well as photography, and we got to learn how to do it in a reel. And right now, we're also learning stop motion, which is really neat, and the movements.
Yeah, that was really fun last year.
It's so cool because, like, you just look at a picture and you think it's still, but then when you put it on stop motion, you get to see it move. It's even better. So the product, like, you might think it's hard in the process to get to it, but then the product is really, it's worth it all in the end.
What do you find the most challenging thing this semester so far?
Probably the lab work, because Ed gives us a lot of work over the weekends and everything, so we do a few lessons so he can teach us, and sometimes it feels like it's overload because of the other classes too. But then I think just sitting in there, it's so relaxing because you get to step away from it all. But so you may think there's a lot of homework when he gives it to you, but then when you're really doing it, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's that much.
I remember those days last year. It was a mess. We would all bring our pillows into the labs and just like sleep.
I might have to do that. So what have you learned in freshman that you like take over to sophomore year? Like, what's helped you?
Basically every single aspect of animation techniques helps you in sophomore year, and it'll continue to help you all the way till senior year, until your future job. For example, I know you guys do the little test about the anticipation and the follow-through. Those are critical, and Ed'll say it, and honestly, I don't think anybody really paid attention to him stating that those are very critical, and without those, you won't really excel. And it really is critical, so make sure you guys really know and nail down the anticipation, follow-through, and the overall framing. It'll make your life so much easier.
Just gotta work to try and figure it out first.
Yeah.
So what are you guys learning this year? Like, what can I look forward to next year?
This year, you can look forward to typography, concept, and animation are all combined together. And so we make our lockups for our concepts class in our typography class, and we create the concepts of how those lockups are going to be animated in our concept class. And then we go on and create the animation of the lockup in the animation class.
So everything just is tied into each other.
Tied in together.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. And the history classes work really well too.
What history classes?
Right now we're taking American Creativity. It has to do a lot with pop culture. It's really interesting, and you can really get a lot of inspiration from that class, and also from the history of graphic design. It's just really, really interesting. I love it.
It sounds interesting. I can't wait. Sorry.
So how many swings do you think it would probably be? You know, for students coming into motion design, you know, the biggest challenge I find is that they think they can just do one thing and do that well, and that would get them a job as a motion designer, and that's very misleading. For a motion designer, it's like you're a one-person industry yourself. You have to be able to talk to clients and understand a client's needs. You've got to be able to do the storyboards and conceptualize the idea. You've got to be able to take those storyboards and animate them.
My My favorite is concept class because we really learn about everything. Without a great concept, you're not going to have a good animation. Your point's not going to get across. I think that was probably the greatest thing my sophomore year. Basically, I wasn't really happy with this animation because I'll be honest, I did the majority of it at about maybe 11 or 12 at night, because that's what kind of happens when you're in college and you have a lot of work to do. Right now, the things that I don't really like about this animation, I don't like how it really just kind of bounces, and that was a lot of the feedback I got. And then also this horizon line is still a distraction because it kind of leads the viewer's eye to the center, and the letters don't even hit the ground. My professor sat down with me yesterday for about an hour, and he actually walked me through the process of going back to the stuff we learned last year with the ball bounce and everything, and showed me kind of how the letters should look when it jumps. And that's what he came up with, and now it's my job to kind of use what he showed me yesterday and make my animation look amazing.
I think students have a hard time understanding that it really takes a lot of focus and a lot of determination and a lot of skill to make something move believably. And it doesn't happen just the first time. You really need to work it. It's a skill, just like drawing is a skill. Just like, speaking is a skill. It's communication, and we have to be able to take our animation and make it communicate as effectively as our words. Michael is the founder and creative director for Nail Gun.
Michael Waldron from Nail Gun, when he came, he did his presentation. It was awesome. It was just absolutely outstanding. It really kind of motivated me to do better in my work. It's good that he actually came because seeing all his work, it's just really awesome, and I think everybody got really motivated.
So motion graphics, what is it? I mean, when I got in this business back in 1995, it was sort of, you would see it in television. You would see an animated open that would be motion graphics. You would see a news show. You would see an open or over-the-shoulder graphic or full screen. But one of the biggest things that you guys should take away from school is just developing a process for yourself. Whether you're an illustrator, a motion designer, or any kind of artist, you got to have some sort of process.
When we went to Busch Gardens and we spoke with Bill Street, we all learned so much. I personally learned a lot about the different, the saturated colors they use in the children's section. It kind of really opened up my eyes to see how detailed the theme parks are and how much they really target their demographic.
The type of student that would excel in motion design, I find, is one that enjoys a challenge, because this industry is all about problems. You have to really get excited about problem solving. It's not about what client you're working for, it's the thrill of being able to solve a problem in a creative way. That's the real challenge. You have to be comfortable with not knowing.
I'm really looking forward to doing our commercial work, and we're going to do a short-term video. I think it's the second semester of junior year, or it might even be the first semester. I really want to get in the music video industry, and so I'm really planning on making a music video my junior year. That's my overall goal. I would really like to collaborate with other musicians that are in my major, and therefore making my own music with my own animation. That just makes it more original and more unique too.